We're back with yet another high-paced pedal-to-the-metal episode of Wild Country. Last show, we left off with a face-to-face encounter between Mark and his targeted mule deer, Meatloaf. Will he be able to put an end to this thrilling chapter? Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe below. We hope you enjoy Wild Country. This segment of DoD TV is brought to you by Leupold. Be relentless.
Welcome back to another episode of Wild Country right here on DeerCast and DoD TV. So we're getting to the latter part of this hunt, and the stress level on my end, the anxiety is through the roof.
Well, good morning. It is officially day 5 here at Wild Country Adventures, and we're off to a really good start because we just spotted 3 mature bucks, one of which is named the sequel. But they're all very, very nice bucks, so we're gonna keep glassing and try to see if we can watch them bed and then put together a game plan on how to stalk them. So hopefully they stay on these ridges, but it's been a phenomenal week. No arrows released yet, but I got a good feeling that today might be the day. Dad and Austin are still after Meatloaf, which is a huge deer they've been after all week, so we'll see what all comes together today.
We've probably been walking about, I don't know, half mile or so. We're getting close to where we want to be. I know that. We've seen him up in this corner a couple different times.
We get around, we pop up, there he is, bedded under the Sarvis bears. We have him at 50 yards.
We are at about 48 yards. Austin, go a little bit further. I go, he goes, I go. That's the wind we need right there.
As we make our move, we're only moving when the wind blows. So I would move 5 yards, Mark would move 5 yards. I would move 5 yards, Mark would move 5 yards. I take a glance over to where Meatloaf is, and he's up, and he's coming our way. Mark's kind of back behind me, just off my left shoulder. Meatloaf is walking right at us. He's at 45, 35, 25, 10. Gets all the way into 6 yards, but Mark's on my left, and now Meatloaf is on my right. There's no shot. The buck finally figures out that we're there. He whirls around, goes out into the sage in the wide open, Mark's at full draw. Yep.
Kill him.
And we shot over the top of him.
Could you see where it went?
That was our opportunity. We had him. I felt as a guide, I almost blew it. I was in the way. I should have had the hunter be going first, and I made a mistake.
I should have put 30 and 40 on him. Then I shot over him. I couldn't shoot right there, dude.
No.
There's no way I was going to shoot past you.
Yeah.
Like, I wish somebody could see the view I had.
As both archery hunting and guiding goes, there's highs and there's lows. And talk about a low.
All's well that ends well. We just reviewed the footage and we slow-moed it, and we see the arrow go over that back. He was probably about 35, plus he dropped, so even if the arrow would have struck, I think I would have been high. So I'm thankful for the fact that he did duck and it went over him, and it's a clean miss. So anybody that says a mule deer won't duck, they will. Anybody that says your son-in-law won't get in the way, they will.
Sorry, Mark.
Can you believe it? You don't have to be sorry. We'll never forget that moment.
No, we won't.
Ever.
Ever.
What was meant to be just happened. And we got one we'll never forget, buddy.
That's right.
Me as a guide, I was in the lowest of lows. We had our buck, we couldn't capitalize. I'm putting all that blame on myself.
We're out here looking for the arrow. I just told Austin, I said, we'll never find it. He walks up here. This kid's got eyesight like maybe I used to 25 years ago. And he spots it. We heard a whack in the footage. We're like, well, maybe we hit him. Buddy, ain't no chance I'm pulling that one. That one's staying.
That was with the other 2 bucks earlier this morning, so we're gonna give it a go.
So we elect that evening to give Meatloaf a break. We're gonna go down to the lower country down in the sagebrush and see if we can't turn up a random deer.
We were driving to another spot and Austin said, you know what, there's a water tank right here, let's go. Pull in there, we're seeing so much in and around water, bam, giant.
We get down there and we find a 7-year-old we named Droopy. He's a giant 3x4, big frame, heavy mass, he's an awesome deer.
All right, here we go, we're back in the game. We're after a deer that we have pictures of at a water tank, but he's 3 miles from there, so Austin spotted him with those eagle eyes. Going back in, this ought to be fun.
We quickly plan our stalk, we get around the basin, and as we come around, the thermal switch, it gets super calm, we're pinned. We're about 100, 150 yards from the deer, and there is nothing we can do.
Yes, I can see him. But you gotta be careful. How far are we on? Probably 150 yards.
Well, here we are with a tremendous end to a tremendous day. And here we are closing it out tonight with another great stalk. Austin put us right on him, but we got down in that comfort zone. No wind, everything's dry, thermal's dropping. You get going away footage saying, sayonara, suckers. That was a fun hunt though.
Yes, it was.
We have not given up on Meatloaf. We're going back to our same high spot. We're gonna keep glassing. We're gonna give it everything we have.
Do your eyes ever get strained?
Last year in September, I almost got like it was like a cramp or a twitch going on. It felt like my bottom eyelid was sitting there twitching whenever I'd start glassing for long periods of time. But
How many hours a day do you glass?
about 7 to 9 usually. Long days, short nights.
We just started the morning. It's the very last day, day 6, and we were driving to go glass to try to put one to bed, and one of our target bucks named Luke was not far. So we got out, came back in some sage, but we've been hunting this deer off and on all week. So it's nice to have an eye on him this early in the morning.
We caught a glimpse out of these guys as we were driving by, so we decided to slip in real quick. We did, but the wind is backdrafting on us. I think it was our demise. They weren't mature anyway, we weren't sure because we just caught a glimpse, but that one's gonna be a mega giant. He is awesome.
All right, tonight is the last night. It's day 6 here at Wild Country Adventures in Utah. And Tom, Austin, Dad, Wade, and myself went in today to a spot that we scouted last night. It's actually on water, and we did a man-made blind. So we're shooting out to 30 to make sure I'm good because the water trough is at about 30 yards from the blind we built. So fingers crossed that old Luke or another mature buck will come in. It's the last night. Down to the wire.
As a guide, I am so anxious. I want Mark to get a buck so bad. And he keeps telling me, hey, relax, relax. It's the journey, not the destination. Let's just keep having fun. That's just in one ear and out the other. I want to get Mark a buck.
So we're trying to get in here and find our pond a little better than we did last time. We're taking Onyx on in and we got a better route. And we get detoured by a buck that we saw across the way. There's a big mature sucker, big frame, full velvet, right in here where we've been hunting this big deer. We haven't seen him yet, he's brand new. And we're gonna see if we can have some fun tonight with that big guy. The wind speeds up, so if we get to him, I think we'll have a good play.
So we're back after it. And here shows up a bachelor group of new bucks that we've never seen before. We've been sitting there for 4 days, and that's what goes to show you, hunting these mountain deer with lots of timber, you gotta be patient. You never know what deer are gonna show up. And this buck looks like a great target to go after.
It might be it. It's time to divide the continent.
Both their heads are down right now.
So, Austin's got a little footage of these bucks. They're at 97 yards. We came off the hill and got up on their terrain on this mountain. And they're slowly winging their way down here. Our water hole's behind us, so we feel like we're in a good position. It's something every time something goes wrong, one little thing. One of these times, things are gonna go right.
We're about 100 yards out. We're about 200 yards from the water hole. We're in a perfect spot.
Steady march right at that tree. Veering a little right.
As those deer start coming, it looks like it's gonna work out perfect. It looks like they're gonna walk right above us. It's looking good.
They come above us. Walking right at us, right behind that tree to you. He's at 30 yards.
As that deer gets closer, he's at 50 yards. Then he comes another 20 yards closer and he turns and he starts coming down below us, but he's facing us the whole time. We have no shot.
Yep. No, wait.
As he gets closer, Mark stops him and he rolls out of frame. I have to cut Mark off from making this 10-yard shot at this buck.
He was dead. He was still really quartered to me when he came around that tree. I said in my pre-hunt interview, something always goes wrong. We did that to ourselves. Camera saves another's life. That's 2 they've saved this week.
As of that happening, now we're going back to the original plan. We're going back to Mark's whitetail strategies. Let's go sit and wait.
We are down to our last and final night here at Wild Country Adventures. It has been an amazing week. Neither Dad and I have killed yet, but we have had phenomenal stalks. We've had really, really close calls. Dad missed his target buck. He shot high. So we're really hoping that tonight is all going to come together. Wade and I are in a man-made blind that we came in and made earlier today. We're sitting about 30 yards from a water trough because it is so hot here. It's our last night. We got to get it done tonight because we're headed home tomorrow. Double fingers crossed.
So we go back down to where we brushed in that blind by the pond, and we're sitting and sitting. And at this point, as a guide, I am just down in the dumps. I cannot believe we've had so many close encounters with 2 great bucks, and we just didn't get it done.
I think one thing that's certain when it comes to hunting, you're never out of the game when you're outside enjoying yourself. It sounds cliche, but it's so true. And we'll never forget this week because of the fact that we had those 2 giants and didn't kill them. And all that does, it makes you more thirsty, makes you a little hungrier, makes you want it a little bit more.
Can I look? We have a buck coming in. He's a really, really pretty buck, but he's a 4-year-old, so he's not mature. And we're only shooting 5 and older, but let's see if our little man-made blind works. Seriously, a huge deer. He's only 4 years old, so he's on the no-shoot list, but he was coming in on a string. He was heading straight for that water. We had him at like 15 yards right here in front of us. I can't thank Tom, Austin, everyone that helped us spot enough for a great, great hunt. We really did have a good week. And like they say, sometimes hunting isn't all about killing.
It's been a fun week out here. I'm addicted to wild country. I can see why Austin loves it so much. He grew up on this ranch with his dad and his brothers. Come out here and spend some time with these boys. It's pretty cool.
Even though we weren't able to harvest Meatloaf or one of those other nice mature deer, I had one of the greatest hunts I've ever had with a hunter. I can't thank my future father-in-law enough, now my father-in-law, for a great time. Thank you for watching this episode of Wild Country.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by Leopold.